Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here with a she crab recipe, y'all. When I say I love me some she crab soup, I just had to make this, and so I was like, you know what, let me record a video. So we're gonna start by melting some butter. You can use butter, you can use some oil, but I chose to use butter. And then I'm gonna add in some chopped celery, and I had some frozen onions that I'm gonna be adding in as well. And you just want to make sure that your onions and celery is diced up really small. So just make sure that. Sorry about the blurriness. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just saute that on until it's about translucent. um Make sure y'all use a wooden spoon too, y'all. I was using a plastic spoon. I'm gonna switch over eventually, but make sure y'all use a wooden spoon. Then I'm gonna add in about a half of a teaspoon, but add you about a teaspoon of garlic, and then about a cup of flour. I keep saying about a. I added a cup of flour, and I'm going to just stir that around until I cook that flour out, y'all. I'm gonna make sure that y'all cook y'all flour out, because you don't want your food, your she crab soup, tasting like flour. I can't stand when I taste people's like soup and you can taste the flour. So make sure you cook your flour out real good. And it's, of course, your butter is going to dry up. That's perfectly okay. It just soaked into that flour, so that's fine. You don't need to add more butter to it. Just it's perfectly fine, y'all see. All right, and now you see where I switched over. I was like, you know what, if I keep doing this, it's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna end up burning my plastic spoons. I was like, let me go ahead and switch over to my wooden spoon, y'all. So just make sure y'all grab y'all a wooden spoon for this recipe. And keep on stirring around, y'all. Cook that flour out. And as you can see, my bottom of my pan has kind of browned, and so I'm going to go in with a half of a cup of sherry wine. Make sure for this amount I used a half a cup of sherry wine. Right here what you see is only about a fourth of a cup, but I end up adding a little bit more, which is not shown in the video. So make sure you go ahead and add you about a half a cup of sherry wine. So I do that, and I cook that out, and I'm going to go in and pour this whole I don't even know, is this a quart, y'all? What is this? The big thing of chicken broth. That's what I poured into it. And so I'm just slowly pouring it in and whisking it around with my spoon, y'all. Just slowly working that chicken broth in there, because you want to kind of break that flour and the onions and celery up. You want to break that stuff up. So just slowly whisk it in there, mix that stuff around, and just work it in there, as you can see. And I know everybody's way of she crab soup is different, y'all. This is my way. You can add this chicken bouillon to yours, or you don't. You can perfectly leave it out. It's totally fine. I just love chicken bouillon, y'all. I love this seasoning. I added damn near everything, all of my recipes, but I didn't add a lot, as you can see. I just added just enough. You don't want it to taste like chicken soup, so don't add too much, but definitely if you want my recipe, add it in there. And then I'm going to go in with this half and half, and I'm also going to use some heavy cream. And again, you don't see me pouring the entire thing of heavy cream, but I actually went back and added the entire thing. So make sure you just use all of your half and half, all of your heavy cream. I got the small one, so I didn't get the big one. So if you got the same size I got, use all of it. Then I'm going to go in with some salt. Don't come for me, y'all. I know I don't measure. I can't tell you a tablespoon this or a teaspoon that. I just go in, y'all. I measure with my gut. I go with my gut when it comes to seasoning food. Then I'm going to go in with some Old Bay. And you want to make sure that you get a good amount of Old Bay. I like a little kick to my she crab soup. I don't know about y'all, but I like a little kick to mine. So just make sure you add you a nice amount of Old Bay. Then I'm going to go in with some black pepper and a bay leaf. And then I also went in with some Italian seasoning. I don't have that clip, but if you don't have Italian seasoning, feel free to just use some fresh thyme if you have time. And I'm going to turn that on a low heat and let it simmer for 40 minutes. Now you want to taste your soup. Make sure that the seasonings is where you will like it. If you want to add more, definitely add more. If you feel like you messed up and you over seasoned it, just add you a little bit more chicken broth or the whipping cream. But yeah, so now I'm going to thicken it up to how I like it. So I'm going to make me a slurry. So it took me about a teaspoon of cornstarch. And then I'm going to take some water, stir that up, and I'm going to pour it in there. And on this part, you guys, it really just depends on how thick you want it. I like mine to where it's just thick, where it's soupy, but not too thick. I know some people like their she crab soup. I've been to restaurants where it's like really, really thick. But that's not how I do mine. So if you want to make it thicker, definitely just make you more slurry. And so, you know, a lot more slurry. Add you a little bit more cornstarch in that slurry. So that's how you would do that if you want it thicker. So y'all, this is the lump crab. That's what I'm using. I didn't feel like doing claw crab meat, because claw meat sometimes can have the shells in them, and I didn't feel like picking through all that, y'all. I've learned my lesson with that. So I just like to go ahead and make the investment. I hate paying for lump crab because it's so expensive, but I went ahead and did it for this recipe. I added my lump crab, and I'm going to be using, let me see. Oh yeah, you want to make sure, I bought it from my grocery store, my crab meat from my grocery store, from my local Harris Teeter. So I don't know the brand, but yeah. So you want to just make sure that you go in and break that crab up, but you want to be very, very gentle, because lump crab is so delicate, and you do not want to break it up. Everybody want to be able to taste the crab, and you want to have chunks of crab in it. At least that's how I like it. So make sure that when you're mixing your crab in, that you do it very, very gently. And as y'all can see, the consistency of my soup, it's going to thicken up a little bit more as well. So I'm going to let that cook about another 10 minutes, and there you have it, y'all. It is ready. This recipe is so good. Comment down below and let me know if you're going to try out my recipe. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, y'all, and turn on your notification bell. I will be coming with cooking videos weekly, so definitely subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying this. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Oh yeah, I had to garnish it, y'all. Y'all know I love garnishing my food with some parsley.